Part 4 of this series on the Gamkaskloof covers the section from the 11th to the 20th kilometer in the vicinity of the Congoberg. If you intend driving this road, it's important to watch all the videos sequentially to get a complete perspective of what to expect. From the 11th kilometer, the road rises over a small neck, then begins descending once again down a narrower section of the kloof, which is just over 1 kilometer wide. Immediately to your left, you'll get a good view of the towering Gamkaskloof, which has a summit of 2,053 meters. If you look a little further ahead, at the 11 o'clock position, the Congoberg can be seen. This peak is slightly lower, with a height of 1,853 meters, and holds sentinel over this section of the road. This 9-kilometer long section traverses the two original farms of Gamkaskloof and Grootvlei. The earliest inhabitants of the valley, today known as De Hel, were the San Bushmen. In the early 1830s, the first Afrikaans farmers wandered into the valley, finding it fertile with abundant water, and made this place their home. The road remains on the southern side of the valley, and the going is fairly easy here, but take note of the large amount of big rocks that have rolled down from the mountainside, some of them as big as motor vehicles. The valley widens substantially at the 12-kilometer mark and soon enters a 90-degree right-hand initiated S-bend at the 13-kilometer mark. At the 14.7-kilometer point, a short tight S-bend takes the road through a small side ravine, then very quickly enters a second ravine via a sharp right-hand bend. As the road exits this ravine, at the apex of the left-hand exit curve, there's a very large rock right next to the road. This is signposted as Gamkaskloof, a clip. During the construction of the road, this large chunk of rock proved too formidable an obstacle for the big bulldozer, controlled by the larger-than-life character of Koos van Zyl, who was the foreman in charge of the road construction of the time. Not one to give up on a challenge, the rock proved to be the bulldozer's nemesis and refused to budge. The road had to be slightly modified from the engineer's original lines by skirting the rock on its southern side. At the 16.5-kilometer point, the road swings through a wide left-hand curve into a side ravine, which signals the start of the second small pass, which we've labeled as the Congoberg Pass. The kloof narrows again at this point as the road swings away into the south. One gets a perfect view of the Congoberg from this vantage point, as the road bends consistently to the left until the heading is southeast. This little pass is quite attractive, with some built-up retaining walls which prop the road up as it heads towards the stream forming the ravine from the south. The final bend is a very sharp right-hand hairpin of 160 degrees, and the small concrete single-width bridge is crossed at this point. If you need to fill water bottles or just take a breather, this is a perfect spot with some parking on the far side of the bridge. The stream also has potable water in it at most times of the year. The road now bends back into the west as the side ravine is exited via a gentle S-curve and continues descending towards a second stream crossing at the 19.6-kilometer point. Due to the high levels of concentration required on this road, it's common for drivers to become fatigued, and in the case of motorcyclists even more so. It's recommended to take several short breaks along this road, stopping at least every 30 minutes. There are literally thousands of photo opportunities, and if you only intend visiting here once in your lifetime, relax, take lots of photos, and soak in the sublime grandeur of the Swartberg. In 1958, the first car was brought into De Hel through the Gamka River Gorge. This was no mean achievement, as in many places the car had to be pulled, carried and lifted over the large rocks. When you reach Fonteinplaats and you go to the restaurant there, you can see black and white photographs of this event. After this road was built in 1962, it precipitated the exodus of the youth from the valley. Inevitably, the older people had to follow, and this ended life of 130 years of farming in De Hel.